Each one of us has 24 hours a day. What matters is how we use them. In Estonia, we've created a business environment that lets you thrive, where you can focus on getting things done, where you can realize ideas that make a difference, and where no goal is unachievable.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to the second day of our virtual trade mission to Estonia. We think Estonia is the world's most advanced digital society, and it's also the perfect gateway to the Nordics and the Baltics. Now, yesterday we started our first day looking at Estonian ITC companies. We were talking about how to do business in Estonia. We were talking about the very innovative E-Residency program that's been set up by the Estonian government, and that's really the key, the special sauce that allows you to do business, make your investments, and interact with the Estonian government and the Estonian business landscape. Now today we're going to be talking about the food and food tech sector, and we have some introduction talks in a moment, and then we have two companies who are producing food here in Estonia for export, very high quality. We're going to be talking about a company called FoodTech, who are automating the system of food safety checks and processes. And then at the end of the day, end of the morning, we're going to be looking at Pohjola, which is one of Estonia's finest craft breweries, and they're already exporting to America. My name is Louis Zezeran. I will be your host today. I am not an Estonian. I am Australian, though. You can possibly hear from my dinky die accent. I've lived in Estonia for over 12 years now. I'm an entrepreneur and a performer. About 10 years ago, my friends and I brought the art form of stand-up comedy to Estonia. We started to perform and promote these shows, and it's been very interesting to not only make performances in Estonia, but also be an entrepreneur and run a business in this environment. And I will tell you, it's not a bad place to live. Okay, to start our day, we're going to have a representative from Trade Estonia come up here. We're talking about doing business in Estonia. Joining me on the couch, we're going to have Mr. James York. Nice.
Well, again.
Yes, welcome here. We talked
Day
yesterday.
two. Yes.
Let's do it again. James, take that one over there. Now, sir, you are also a fellow foreigner in Estonia. Indeed. Tell us just quickly about yourself.
So I'm a native New Yorker, but at this point I'm kind of, let's say, adopted Estonian. I'm as Estonian as you can be without technically being Estonian. And I currently serve as the Director of U.S. Business and Innovation for Enterprise Estonia, and I'm posted to the Consulate General in New York, 2 blocks up from the UN.
Okay, but you're not in New York right now.
I am not in New York at the moment. I am currently working remotely from HQ.
Okay, fair enough. Well, these times are different. We all have to adjust.
It's an interesting year, but here we are.
Is it an interesting year? Really? I hadn't heard anything about it.
Yeah. Just, you know.
All right, let's start off. People want to know, let's give them the background on Estonia and what's happening in this place.
So Estonia is not on a lot of people's radars, but it should be. I mean, that's part of the job that I've got is making sure that people are aware of all the amazing things that are happening. It's the world's leading e-society. It is the home of more unicorns per capita than anywhere else in the world. And what a lot of people don't realize is that attached to this particular horse with a horn, there's a cart with all sorts of really interesting stuff in there. So it's not just tech, it's not just startups. And like today, we're going to be talking about food. We've got some really, really amazing food products coming out of the country.
I think when we talk about Estonia, we do often talk about the digital nature of the e-services. And let's dig in a little bit because it's, we're a digital society, we're all online, everything. Let's dig into some real examples of what this might take. So let's look at, Estonians interact. There's how do you interact online? How do you trust We do that via our secure ID cards.
Yes. So the whole country is built on a digital infrastructure called the X Road. And what's amazing, especially for an American, is that the Estonian government actually has a law on the books saying that they can only ask you for your information once, which is astounding because normally in the States you're filling out everything in triplicate to the same agency.
Yes.
So the efficiency and the optimization that exists here and having everything be available to you online is amazing. I mean, 99% of government services are available online 24 hours a day. And what's really amazing is that about 5 years ago, Estonia made the decision and said, hey, let's open up this digital infrastructure that we have to the world. And so they created a program called E-Residency, which means that non-residents, non-nationals, foreigners can interact with the Estonian government, create their companies here, build their businesses here, and interact with the state entirely remotely, which is amazing.
Right, there's a lot to unpack in that. So let's try and do that. So we have an ID card, I can log in. I think that we worked out yesterday that I have only had to interact with the government twice, like physically go to a government office. Okay, technically 3 times in 5 years. 2 of those were because I got my Estonian driver's license. I had to go do an exam once, an exam twice. Fine. But then we know that the Estonian DMV, if you get the renewal, they send it to you. You don't have to do that. And the only other time I had to physically interact with the Estonian government was to get my new ID card and pick that up. That they wouldn't send. So every other interaction when it comes to registering my business, when it comes to signing documents online, entering into the business register, doing bank transactions, that is all done completely online.
Exactly, and the reason
Estonia.
you have to go in to pick up your ID card is because they want your fingerprint to make sure that you are still you.
This is true. This is it. So we've got this amazing kind of digital system that everything is connected to. And now with the E-Residency program was about saying, how can we offer these services to foreign nationals to also enable them to use these services to do business in Estonia.
Yes, and it's a really compelling value proposition because not many people realize, but Estonia actually has a 0% corporate tax on reinvested profits, which means that if you hold the money in your company, there's no income tax at the corporate level, which is amazing. So you can actually focus on growth, development, expansion, all the things that are good for business. And that's really what Estonia is about being good for business.
It is, yeah, that corporate. So for me, I mean, I as I said, I run a company here, and that means that if I leave the money in the company, if I don't extract that as a wage or a dividend, that money stays in the account and is not taxed. And, we can keep on using it to run the business. And because I've got to admit, I have not run a business in another country. I didn't run a business until I came to Estonia, and I was like talking to friends in other countries, like, wait, the government takes money from you every year? I'm like,
Exactly.
How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a management consultant and an entrepreneur by background, but now I work for the government. And my first company was actually opened in Estonia as well.
Yeah, it's a good way to be. And I think also what exemplifies that is not only is the tax system is flat and easy to understand.
Yeah, transparency really is the key word. And I think that kind of bleeds through to every kind of aspect of the culture, the business environment. Transparency, this Nordic climate, not just the weather, but also in terms of temperament and the society.
Yeah.
Estonia really is this kind of hidden gem of the North, because you're going to have access to, you're going to have access to the people who literally built Skype, and you can engage with these people for your business if we're talking about services. So you're getting this kind of this very typical Finnish, Swedish, Nordic quality, but usually at a fairly substantial discount to our slightly more northern neighbors.
That, to me, most things in Estonia can be attributed to the small population size.
Yes.
At 1.3 million. And I think you kind of touched on, you can get access to all these amazing founders and the development networks. And we talked a lot about that yesterday. So I know in Estonia, like, we don't have superstars who are exclusive and away from the public spotlight, I could very easily see a government minister at the supermarket or the cafe. It's not a weird thing.
Yep.
And so if you extend that greater to the business community and the startup community, that means you've got really direct access to the likes of, you could contact the guys from Bolt or from TransferWise and say, hey, let's have a talk or make a connection. It's not some exclusive society, and I think that's one of the benefits.
Yeah, so in a place like, so normally, right, it's 6 degrees of separation, and normally in a place like New York, it could be 6, 7, 8. But what's amazing about Estonia is that it's really 1 or less. And so one of the kind of anecdotes that I like to tell about how this facilitates kind of the magic of the Estonian business environment is that it means that people can collaborate and find each other and work on ideas that normally wouldn't have the ability to kind of be birthed into the world in the first place. So I used to live here for about 4 years, and when I first moved here, coming from a background in finance and real estate, I started working with technology companies, and the first one was a company called FitsMe, which made shape-shifting robotic mannequins, thankfully without the heads, because that would have been a little bit dangerous. The fact that these shape-shifting robotic mannequins even came into existence, it could have only happened in Estonia, because the founder literally took a train 2 hours to the south to one of the major universities here and pitched his vision and was able to find the scientists and the engineers needed to be able to develop this new technology. And that just doesn't happen anywhere else. So there really is something magic in the air here.
Yeah, there's something about it, because with the small population, I think you touched on it, that Estonians are used to getting things done. And
Absolutely.
They're not used to a large bureaucracy getting in the way of things.
The can-do attitude permeates everything.
Right, and I think it's very cute. When they are frustrated, when there is bureaucracy, I like watching them go, oh, I can't do it. I'm like, chill. It's like, it's 10 times worse everywhere else. Like, you're going to be fine.
Exactly, but it also means that for, especially, this mission is for a US audience. When it comes to looking towards Estonia for new partners, new suppliers, new vendors, it means that you can come with a kind of a, no pun intended for the track that we're on, but kind of a half-baked idea, and you can present it to potential Estonian partners, and they will have the wherewithal and the access of network to be able to figure out how to make your wildest ambition possible. And that's really, really amazing and unique to this environment here.
It is. I think it's a unique system that we have here, and I like it as well. It's, I think what it allows us here is that with the small population does sound at first like, what, 1.3 million? Who cares about that? But it's been pointed out so many times that it's about using Estonia as your base. Maybe you want to use it to test a product or test your company or battle harden your troops, and then accessing the rest of the EU market. It's a great base.
And that's exactly, and further to the idea of using Estonia as a test bed, because the population is so small and accessible, and the government is so lean and agile, it means that you can test services that are rolled out at a national level and use Estonia as a test bed. I don't know anywhere else like that. I'm biased, but I don't know anywhere else like that.
Sure. Okay, now our topic today, James, is food and food tech. And I think
Food
you're
and
going to
food tech. I will give a short presentation. I don't want to take too much time away from the companies, but I'll give everybody a quick overview, and
all right,
there we
let's
are.
do it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So the Estonian food sector and food tech sector is one of the most robust in the country. There's a wide variety and selection of items. Everything that's produced here is high quality, well-priced specialty products. So like sea buckthorn, cloudberries, dark rye breads, and to be honest, some of the tastiest dairy confections that you will ever try. Estonia is known for its pure food, and a lot of traditional food items here that are now produced at scale in modern facilities, including favorites that come from older traditions like meringue, marzipan, dark breads, jams, chocolates, ice cream, savory items, delicious craft beers, and strong spirits, and all sorts of other snacks and other confections, some of which you'll get a chance to see. If you actually come and visit Estonia, which we hope you will do once travel has returned to normal, you'll find that contemporary Estonian cuisine is a delicious mix of the latest gastronomic trends from really all around the world, mixed with local traditions. So it's a really, really unique culinary environment here as well. The country is home to lots of small craft breweries. You'll be hearing from a company called Pohjola, which is one of the premier in that category, cozy cafes, and world-class restaurants. So if you do come, and you are all very welcome to, we would love to see you here. And my colleagues on the Visit Estonia tourism side of Enterprise Estonia would be thrilled to see you here. You'll have a really good time and you'll eat really well. Estonia is also an extremely clean environment. In fact, it's one of the most pristine natural environments in the world. And we boast some really, really excellent local produce. But let's look at the food sector by the numbers. So the food sector accounts for about 16% of our total manufacturing industry, ranging from dairy, meat, all sorts of other food products and beverages. And about 33% of our foodstuffs are actually produced for export. And that accounts for nearly $600 million of export annually. Estonia, in terms of the pristine and clean environment, we're actually fourth place globally in urban air quality. And 18% of our farmland is designated organic, and 40% of our forests are designated as organic collection areas. And so, with that very short overview, tonight you'll be hearing from some of our leading companies like Ballsnack, Salvest, and Pohjola, who I mentioned before, the craft brewery. But of course, the food sector in E-Estonia isn't only about excellent quality products. We also deliver some amazing tech, and you'll be hearing from one of our food-focused tech startups, FoodTech, as well. And don't forget, there are more companies waiting for you in the networking area of the Impromptu Me app, and I hope that you find some really tasty things. Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you, James, for the conversation and for the overview about the food tech industry in Estonia. So now we're going to have our local companies telling you their experiences about working in the Estonian market and then taking that abroad. So the first company we're going to hear from is Ballsnack. And Ballsnack is a family-owned business founded in 1992, so it's almost as old as the Second Republic of Estonia, and it's the biggest potato chip manufacturer in the country. They started out just working on the local market, and now they are active and exporting to over 40 countries. In the past 4 years, their exports have grown 500%, and that is, the exports are 53% of their total turnover. They are manufacturing their own food products. They have over 100 different SKUs, and they are focused on their own thing, as I said, with their very unique grand potato chips and my favorite, the Texas popcorn. Okay, so to tell us more about the work of Ballsnack, I'd like to introduce the export director, Mr. Marko Utsar.
Hello, my name is Marko Utsar, and I am export director of company Ballsnack International Holding. Let's talk about our company. Ballsnack International Holding is family business. Its company is founded in 1992, and we are Estonia's biggest potato chips manufacturer. His name, company name, Ballsnack, is describe himself what's meaning. It's Baltic snacks, and basically we started us out as a company that wanted to offer something special and unique for the Baltic markets. This moment, our dream was to offer like maximum good products in Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Now our dream is much, much more bigger, and we want to offer our cool products worldwide. Partly we already succeed, this is our target. We offer more than 100 different products in our portfolio. Let's turn the page and go to export. Export is very important to us. In recent years, we made very good growth here. And in the past 4 years, the export sales have increased 5 times. In language numbers is 500%. Export making 53% of total turnover. 4 years ago, this number was 15. Polsnak selling more than 40 countries currently. 4 years ago, this number was 4. Our most active markets is we can bring out is Asia. I can name is Japan and China. Scandinavia, I can bring out like Sweden and Finland. Then we have a very good customer in UK, very strong customer. And very active market is also Middle East. We have a lot of orders from Middle East countries. We have a lot of different customers all over the world, but we also working with some of big chains like the name like Auchan, Costco, Carrefour. Our main export articles is potato wafer, which is like export brand under name is Grand Potato Chips. This product is unique, different compared regular chips like Lay's, Pringles, or Estrella. It's innovative potato chips. And second, we bring out our Texas popcorn, which also it's gaining very big success last years. We can offer all our product range basically also private label opportunities. So it's if people or customers need private label, we can do it freely. Let's talk a little bit more on our main export articles, which is Grand Potato Chips. This product is our number 1 export article. And why is this so unique and why is this so special? Because the first product line of the company was our own local invention designed and built by our engineers. And this line was potato waffle line. Potato waffle, which is the same product basically, only this product is under export brand name Grand Potato Chips. Now it's a very important message. This product recipe is still very kept family secret. We can even make some parallel like Coca-Cola recipe, which is also, everybody knows, is very well family secret kept. We can confirm that no one in the world has such product because this product is unique shape, crispy, crunchy, wavy, lightness, and we offering perfect flavors. Here you can see basically our current product range in Grand Potato Chips. We're offering currently 8 different flavors. All packaging is 90 grams size. And on top of this, we also offer, for example, salt and vinegar flavor on private label in UK market. And as I mentioned before already, private label, then we can do also any flavors. If a customer is interesting, then we can make and launch especially this flavor what customer need. About logistics. We selling our grand potato chips with very good shelf-ready box, 16 units inside. It's very easy to open the cover and place a shelf. In secondary location, meaning we offering very good-looking grand potato chips displays. So it's this display already proof himself. So it's very very nice and very good-looking stores. It's contained 12 boxes, 192 units if we filled. And now is basically today is first world premiere. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present you brand new product. It's so new that basically very few people is see this product before. This is grand potato short chips. It's like grand potato chips young brother. So these people who is want not so big slice, it's opportunity now to eat much more short slice. Our next very good export article is popcorn. We are selling our popcorn under Texas brand. And popcorn is again gaining more popularity last years. We selling more than 80% our popcorn products in export. And biggest markets is Scandinavian, Sweden, Finland. Our popcorn is very good quality. We use A-grain popcorn kernels, which is mushroom shaped. And our number one product basically is 200 grams Texas salty popcorn, tube one. This is number one, what we're selling in popcorn range. About logistics popcorn, we're offering our popcorn also very nice looking and very easy handling boxes, display boxes. You can open the cover and you can take off front wall partly and you can place nicely this to stores. As I mentioned before, we're also offering private label. Private label all our customers. And basically, if customer need private label, then is simply need to choose product what he want. He need to choose packaging size, packaging himself, and we can send layout, and he can make his own design, and we can produce it freely. Our range is very big, and we are variety of snacks based on wheat, potatoes, and corn. So it's I think that everybody finds something here. If you talk about overall pulse snack product range, then it's yes, we in our portfolio is more than 100 different SKUs. Most, if I bring out some product groups, and then it's most popular is of course potato snacks, salty snacks. Then Texas of course, what we talked already. We produce also cereals products extruded. In Pulse company have also organic certification, so we also produce organic food. And in terms of non-food, we produce also bird food. Bird food is also like more than Scandinavian markets. There is a winter, there is a cold, frozen snow, and of course all countries there is also it's deep winter. Then is also able to order from us bird food. Now is we going to our most targeting market, which is USA. USA is market is very important to us, and we made a lot of efforts to to catch good customers and to be open in this market. Currently, we have one partner in USA, which is Cost Plus World Marketing in California. But everybody knows that America is world biggest snacks and chips market, so it's definitely want to be there is a stronger position. So that's where we try to find new customers, distributors, retailers. And for that, we already made first steps. Last year, we attend in PLMA Chicago in November. We got many contacts from there. Everybody like our products, especially of course grand potato chips, which is my main product. So and next year we have planned to attend. We already booked our booth there. We plan to attend in Snacks and Beats fair in also in California in May. Hopefully this is we succeed this time. We also did very big work already to enter us in American market. We also all our products is according in American requirements. So we approved in American FDA. So it's everything. This part of job is done. So America prepare. We come here. And finally, some word about our domestic market, Estonia, place where we come. Some facts from Estonia. Estonia has the second cleanest food in Europe. Estonia holds the fourth place in urban air quality. 18% of our farmland is organic. And more than half Estonian covers forest. Its number of language, it's 51%. And this picture is described very good early morning in Estonian, early foggy morning in Estonian forest. Estonian food industry. Estonia meet Scandinavian norms with emphasis on high standards, bringing out the high quality Estonian products. Pure nature and clean air provide us very good ecological environment, giving us confidence, pure raw materials used in products. So clean air, pure nature, ecological environment. And this last picture, if previous picture is described early morning in Estonian forest, this picture is described like sunset in Estonian forest. Shows very good our pure nature. And last but not least, trust a taste from brand with historical producing tasty chips, grand potato chips. Stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Marko. Thank you for that. Please take a seat on the couch here in the far one over there. Yes, over there, sir. All right. I mean, I have your products all the time. They're great. That's right. Very common around here, and you emphasize the great standards, the high standards that we have for food. And I liked your look. You just needed an audience for this. This is very Steve Jobs style. We got one more thing. We got the Texas popcorn. We've got the chips that were long, but now they're short. This had it all. So, I mean, let's go straight to it. America, you're trying to get into that market. You've done the necessary work to get there. Where are you today? Can Americans find your products anywhere or order or something like that?
Actually, this steps is still is so small because we have, as I described, we have only one customer in America. America is biggest market where there is a lot of opportunities. So it's basically a lot of work is already the front of the which is actually the very few things we did, but I think it's after a few years the result will be different, totally different.
Sure, and I guess maybe you're a little bit slower right now with the current pandemic, but you're still getting there, still working on being in that market. Okay, well, I think it's going to be good. You know, it is any big market is definitely worth it. You have good quality products.
Thank you.
As well. Now, we saw some of the things that you had today. The gram potato. I like this. This is one of my favorites as well to have. And you had the shorter version. And you said that that's still a family recipe. This was like,
yes.
You're competing with Colonel Sanders on this one.
Yes.
You got this is your Estonian 11 herbs and spices right there.
Basically, it is family kept secret. Basically, we not actually allowed for Asian people even our production line. So it's quite big secret. And yes, it is maybe similar product in the world, but that nobody is produced like this is like a wavy, crunchy and crispy product as we have. So it's totally different, and people like this product because it's like crunchy, because it's like it tastes differently.
It is. It's very unique. And yeah, it's the Estonian recipe for Coca-Cola. Everybody wants it, but you can't have
exactly.
it. Now, we saw some of the new stuff you've got here. What about in the future? What are your plans for new products or new areas that you want to go to, even in the Estonian market?
Actually, yes. Our people is very creative, and actually each year we try to find something new, something different to offer, and not only Estonian market. Of course, is our domestic market is most important, but also in export markets, different export markets. But it's now it's already a good position on grand potato chips with popcorn. And now we also start to bring other products in different markets where we already. For example, Japan, where we are very strong position in Japan, and now we start to bring another products also in this market.
What do they like? It's interesting culturally. What do they like, do you think, in Japanese market?
It's also grand potato chips very popular there already, but now it's started in different chips and snacks, different extruded chips and snacks also, different types like cheesy flavors, like barbecue flavors, and different this kind of type chips and snacks.
Okay, and the Japanese are interested in, let's say, quote unquote, the more Western flavors like cheesy snacks like this. They're not looking for flavors that are necessarily unique to themselves, like
exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay, very good. All right, that's all we have time for today, Marko. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we're on food and food tech today. We were talking about a great Estonian company, Balsnack, who have been making great snack food, and I would say it's very dear to my heart myself. Okay, our next company is Salvest, and we're going to be talking to the export sales manager. Salvest, established in 1946, one of the largest Estonian food producers. They're producing over 195 different products. We're looking at baby food, canned soup, relishes, jams, ketchup. I'm running out of breath trying to say them all. And with the biggest emphasis that their foods are 100% natural. None of their foods have added preservatives, and that is something that is very important across the world, but important in the Estonian market. So, to hear from our team at Salvest, we have export sales manager. So we have Martin Flink and David Kazanga.
Yes, hello everyone, my name is Martin Flink.
Hi, my name is David Sagania.
And we are the export sales managers at Salvest, which is one of the biggest food production company in Estonia, established in 1946. But before we will tell you more about our company and our amazing products, we will give you a little overview about Estonia. As a matter of fact, this breathtaking photo has been taken only 40 kilometers away from our headquarters.
So Estonia is a Nordic country and well known in the world of high advanced digital society, and of course brands like Skype, TransferWise, Bolt. But also in Estonia, we praise the high-quality food and natural organic ingredients, so we are well known for that as well.
In terms of area, Estonia is half the size of Kentucky State in United States of America, but we have 51% of our land covered by forest.
Yeah, so as I said, the high-quality organic ingredients are very important, and we have at least like 20% of land in organic, and we want to propagate the way of healthy food in the world.
Estonia has a very clear air. As a matter of fact, we have the best urban air in the world.
Yeah, and I think that concludes our brief introductory. So what we want to say is Estonia was very forward-thinking and nature quality country.
So now we will give you a little overview about our company, our main products and export markets.
Yeah, so our company has a turnover of 20 million euros, which we have doubled in the last 5 years. Our main export countries are located in Europe, but we also export to Ghana in Africa, Hong Kong and Japan, with a total of 18 countries.
And we hope to add United States of America to that list as well.
Our current biggest partners are retailers in Europe, but of course some distributors and private label brands. And around 20% of our production goes to export markets, so that's a thing we are proud of and want to propagate and make it even more.
As you can see from the world map, Salvest has attended to different food fairs around the world. Our first steps in entering the United States market was in 2019, when we visited the PLMA Chicago Food Fair. The fair was quite successful for us. We got a lot of new contacts. The people and the companies really liked our product, really liked our company, our mission. But unfortunately, due to coronavirus, the future cooperation was put on hold. So now we will give you a better overview about our whole portfolio. So as you can see, we have lots of different categories, and our two main categories are the baby food and the soups. If we go back in time to 2014, the baby food made only 8% of our whole turnover. But in 2014, we decided to start producing organic baby food. And within 5 years, the baby food has grown to be the biggest category in our portfolio. At the moment, we are market leaders in Estonia with 44% of market share, and we also export our organic baby food products to Finland, to Latvia, and also to Lithuania. One of our newest categories is the smoothies. In 2017, we launched them, and within a few years, it has grown to be the second largest category in our export markets.
About one of the new categories is also ketchup, which we have launched a couple of years ago, and we both have both conventional and organic products, and that is, I think, one of the product lines that we wish to find partners in private label in the USA.
Yes, and to produce great products, you have to also have the highest quality. So Salvest has the European Organic Certificate. We have the ISO 9001-2008 certificate. We have the highest level of the IFS certificate. And also our laboratory operates according to the HACCP food safety system.
And we're also FDA approved for Smoothies and Presto puree soups, which I'm going to tell you soon.
Yes. So in 2017, we wanted to launch a brand new category. We wanted to introduce to the market organic, healthy, ready-to-eat snacks in very convenient and innovative packages. So that's how Smooshy was born. At the moment, we have 6 different SKUs. The pear and kiwi super smoothie with spirulina got the Cial Innovation Award in 2018 for its innovative package and delicious taste.
Yeah, like Martin said, it's really innovative product, and it's easy to grab for you on a metro or to have a picnic at the park. Also, we are making the transition to aluminum-free pouch, which is more eco-friendly. And currently, we have this apricot and pineapple smoothie already in the new package, and hopefully in the near half year, we're making the transition of all products.
Yes.
So the Presto puree soups are our second new product line, and those are ready-to-eat organic soups, which are heated up in 3 easy ways. One is you actually put the package in the hot water.
You can also microwave the package.
Or you can pour it up in the pot and heat it up. And the packages are made of one component recyclable plastic, and this way, as Martin said, is easily usable in a microwave.
So at the moment, we have 3 different SKUs. We have the organic pumpkin puree soup, organic tomato puree soup, and organic vegetable puree soup. The first 2 of them are vegan, and the third one contains chicken fillet. But if you would like to launch your own recipes, we have a highly professional product development team with whom we can work on your recipes and launch the products according to your taste preferences and ideas. So like I said, Salvest is a 72-year-old food production company established in 1946. And our owner is Mr. Veljo Ipits. From the bottom picture, you can see our headquarters and production facility. And on the right side picture, you can see our production facility many, many years ago. Like you can see, a lot of work had to be done manually, but if you have the opportunity to visit our production facility today, you will see that the majority of the production lines are automated, and few jobs have to be done manually.
So at Salvest, we are trying to be as local as possible, and that means that around 70% of our all ingredients, raw materials, are gathered in a range of 100 kilometers or 60 miles. And this way, we also try to support local farmers and businesses.
So within last 20 years, Salvest has made more than 17 million euros of investments. We have invested in different packaging lines, in production lines, and also to different software and IT systems. The main reason why we invested in different production and packaging lines is to be more innovative and to be more effective in our production. So the latest investment was the automatic packaging line and the new planning software and IT systems.
So our ambitions for the next 10 years are on the screen, and the most valued food producer is definitely one of them. We want to raise our turnover up to 50 million euros and to be the best at processes so that we can be the industry benchmarks. To still be the high-valued employer in the food industry in Estonia, which we are at the moment. To be the easiest alternative method for home cooking, so you don't have to prep your food too long. And of course, while we're here, internationally established brand. We are also actively engaged in the community and environment projects. For instance, our organic waste is used to produce biogas, which actually makes the public transport go round in the city.
Our mission is to produce food which is made from the heart, is delicious, and makes everyone's day better. So our core values are commitment, teamwork, professionalism, and continuous development.
Yeah, and that concludes our little presentation. So thank you all, and hope to meet you soon on one-on-ones.
Yes, talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thank you, gentlemen. Please take a seat here on the couch. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you, sir. Okay. So, straight out of the gate, I got to say, I'm the sort of person, I take it out, I take the soup, I pour it into the pot, I heat it up on the stove. I'm that sort of person.
Yeah, but I mean, it's quite easy, and since you have like 3 preferences, you can also put it in microwave and pour it after. So
if I had a microwave, that's why I'm why I'm a pot guy.
Yeah, but then you can also like without the mess, you can put it up in the water, hot water, and then pour it in a cup or anything, you know.
Nice, nice, nice. All the bachelor solutions they have here.
Yeah, definitely.
Really easy to use.
Okay, so you know, just like Bolsnack before, your products are very well known in our Estonian market here. Very often it would just be, you know, I started to realize like, oh yeah, I know those guys. I have that from them and that from them. It's just so ubiquitous here. What about in the American market? What products do you think are really gonna fit for that culture and that market?
I think the super smoothie products, because in the American market, smoothies are really popular, but I think they do not have these squeezable pouches in America, or if they do, they have quite a few of them.
Okay.
So this healthy snack is a very popular thing in the United States. So I think the super smoothies could be the one.
Yeah, and they also have these superfood ingredients, which is like what you actually need every day.
I think it's a nice mix because I was thinking about what you just said. You said where is it used? Where, you know, what other products might have, and it's not like I'm any expert on this, but mainly it would be used in like very specific healthcare. Like this is where the protein thing would come from, and you're still on that. You're a bit further to more a general consumer. It's still a very healthy product. It's viewed as, oh, healthy food comes in this sort of packet, but it's not, you know, a protein shake for buff guys. It's a regular smoothie for normal people just going about their healthy day.
Yeah, it's for ordinary people, so to speak. So everyone can use it. It's not for the training. It's just to maintaining a healthy physique and like being more natural with the environment as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this product already available, or it's what you're working towards right now to getting this product available?
It's already available.
It's already available.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any particular stores or outlets, or that you know is it more generally available?
You mean in the States?
In the States, sorry.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
not in the
No,
States.
not
Yeah.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
Okay, we can get it
soon.
here in Estonia. the
Yeah.
Yeah,
smoothie one.
sure.
Okay.
You can get it in Estonia and also in different European countries,
Yeah.
also in Hong Kong, Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll go back to the question that I had from Bolsnack before. Have you, for things like, let's say, the Japanese market, have you found that they're more interested in, quote unquote, the Western flavors, or did you have to customize it for Japanese tastes?
They really liked our products, so the ingredients were, as I can say, suitable for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So what then, we're going back to the United States, and I understand that's a market you're trying to get into there.
Correct.
This huge, incredible market that is America, what do you think is going to separate your products from the rest?
I think definitely the more ecological approach, which is getting more and more popular around the world, of course in the United States as well. Healthy ingredients, organic ingredients, and I don't know if you want to add.
We do not use any additives, no added sugar, no added salt, just pure fruit purees and the superfood elements.
Sure.
And also the packaging side, the aluminium free, so it's recyclable.
Okay.
which is also
Good
more and
for
more
the
popular.
environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is becoming more prominent in America. I think it's something we sort of take for granted in Estonia. Like, yeah, of course there's no
Yeah.
preservatives or of
Yeah,
course there's
that's
not
true.
a whole bunch of extra added sugar in this. But I remember, visiting America, you kind of got to look, for maybe the Whole Foods or at least in any regular shop. I got to find the
Yeah.
stuff that isn't full of all that sort of crap.
Indeed.
Okay, so America's coming soon. That's looking nice. Okay, and you've got to show the American market this. I mean, you've got the packaging that's going to stand out. I mean, what is the steps that you take to stand out in America? Is it marketing? Is it a clever campaign? Is it hopefully the packaging looks interesting on the shelf? I realize there's no silver bullet formula to this, but what steps do you think about to show Americans about the differences you have?
I think our wide range. So if you go to the shelf, you will see the different colors, so it will catch the eye. And if we do some in-store promotions and activities on social media, I think it will be a very popular product.
Yeah, you just have to, get the first customers, and then it's just waiting for the word of the mouth, and those products are really good. So I think everybody that tastes those, they will like it.
Well, that is the number one, that when they taste it, they like it.
Yeah, and they will buy more, and they will tell the family and friends and so on, and it will just go off. Okay. I hope so.
I like it. I like the enthusiasm. Yeah. Gentlemen, that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for that. All right. One of those. Boom. Okay. We looked at 2 Estonian-based food producers in our last talk. Now, we are still going to stay on the topic of food and food tech, but we're going to look at a slightly different angle on the same industry. Our next company represented is FoodDocs, and they help to create and maintain food safety management systems in a far more easier manner than they are now. They help you with the compliance and the staff training and make sure that you are following all of the correct procedures. So to talk to me about that now and to talk to me about FoodDocs, what this company does, we can get a little bit more to the root of what it is. I'd like to welcome the CEO and founder of FoodDocs, Katrin Liivat. Hi, Katrin. Welcome.
Hi. Welcome. How are you?
Take a seat on the end there. Thank you. All right, let's have a bit of a talk here. So you're not a food producer. You're working in the realm of helping companies, food producers, comply with regulations and standards. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, let me put this way, that they are not only food producers. Today we are targeting small and medium-sized food operators, and mostly they are retailers and food service companies.
Sorry, I meant that. I realized I didn't use the correct wording there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
All good, because my background is food technology, so for me it's really important that what we are targeting and so.
Okay, so let's walk through a use case then. You said food retailers, smaller restaurants, cafes, food producers, direct to customer producers.
Yep.
Walk through a use case of how FoodDocs is helping a small cafe or restaurant or something like that.
Okay, so no matter when you decide to sell your food, it means like open up a restaurant, a shop, it doesn't matter. Whenever you decide to sell your food, you need to have food safety system.
Okay.
So you always need to prove that this food that I'm serving you, example, this water also, that this needs to be safe. And during these times, it's especially important that the food needs to be safe. So you come to FoodDocs, usually they Google, they come to FoodDocs, they register, they sign up, and they get their food safety system like 500 times faster than they supposed to have today. So it's like a machine learning, really smart and awesome program, and then they can have their food safety system like 500 times faster. And after that, the system tells them what they need to do to stay compliant. So we tell you what to do to start, how to be compliant and how to stay compliant. So we give you both things.
Okay, so let's break down a little bit. You said we go to Google, we sign up. Again, I don't know nothing about food service industry. I imagine, okay, I got to make sure stuff's
typical
clean.
customer, yeah.
I cook a burger, but that's it. So what is your website doing? Is it leading me through do this? Is it like a checklist of all the things I should be doing, or what? Tell me about more detail of that part of it.
First, we ask you like different questions, like 8 questions. What is your profile? Like really, really easy questions. This is the most important thing, that you don't need to be a food safety consultant or technologist like I am. So you just answer to simple questions. When the program gets to know your profile, then you will have a dashboard, and the dashboard gives you, okay, as I know, Louis, that you are dealing with this, you need to do these kinds of compliance rules to stay compliant. Okay. So if you are doing exactly as the dashboard or the app tells you, you know that, yes, I am compliant. Okay. This is so easy.
Sure. Okay. And so in the compliance process, it's do this, do that. Yep. Make sure there's, I imagine, make sure there's a schedule for this. Yes. You've got to be doing this on a daily basis, hourly basis, weekly basis. I don't know, is there some provision that you also have to upload proof? Is that part of it? Or there's documentation,
yes,
to fill out and comply, and you've got to give to the government authorities? Is there some element of that as well in there?
Exactly, and you have the whole log. So actually it's working already in Estonia that you can share your food safety compliance documents online to your governmental authorities. So this is a really awesome thing, especially during the crisis time when the authorities wouldn't be able to go on site. But actually, lots of companies that we have are not the small ones, but they are like medium-sized companies. And for them, they don't do the food safety compliance for the government, but they want to be compliant by themselves. They already understand that I need to do it for my customers, because this is really important, because you never think about it before something happens, actually.
Yeah, these days, if you have a problem, social media, you're done.
Of course.
If there's some food poisoning or something, everyone's going to find out, and that's game over. For you, at least. You got to rebrand. You're going to have to move, go to a different state. I don't know.
And sometimes it's really much more important when it's like a franchise. So nobody actually cares that franchises sell the franchise rights, but if something happens in one concrete, really famous brand location, then everybody gets hit.
Are you seeing that already? Have you some of your customers franchises and using it in this manner?
Yeah, I see. Yes, I see. And the franchise owner wants to see what is happening in my business units, because there is not always like these companies who have multiple units. They don't own the whole company. They just sell the franchise, but they still want to be sure that everything has been done correctly in all business units. So that's why it's really important for them.
Okay, I can see that dual level of reporting to the government, to your customers, to any possible franchisees or partners that may be involved in that. Maybe key customers want to know this. If you have a particular key customer, maybe you're in catering or something, some larger company like that. Okay, so you got into it basically because you have a background in food technology, that's right, and you just saw this gap in the market, or how did you sort of originally get the spark for this, or what's your origin story?
Actually, it's really a logic story, because I studied food technology. Then I was working in food industry for more than 15 years. The last 10 years was as an entrepreneur. And if you add Estonian ecosystem, all of this, like really supportive, then you get FoodTech, actually. So this is like how it happened. But my background is in food industry, so I really saw the pain. I saw it every day. And when I met my co-founder, then we just saw that it's not okay, because everything is on papers, and I just keep driving and I just keep checking my employees, because I need to be sure I'm responsible for all this. And I need to be sure that everything has been done correctly, and there has to be a digital solution for that. So this is how it started.
I don't know if this is an area to expand in. I have a friend of mine who runs a catering company in the United States, actually, in Atlanta. And one of the things he talks about is that he needs not only the compliance is very important for the different kitchens that he runs, but also the processes, like the day-to-day processes and rolling that in. Are you looking to expand, how to, do regular things, day-to-day standard operating procedures in the kitchen? Are you looking to expand beyond sort of this field, or how do you see food docs growing in the future?
Actually, it's a really good topic, because it's the employees are rotating so fastly, and you need to educate them, and it's really big problem. And usually, really, really often, the employees don't speak local language. Okay. So And all these actions that you need to do, you usually need to monitor them. So for example, just let's take a sample that you put your chicken wings into the oven. So you need to check the core temperature of this, and you need to write it down.
Okay.
And you need to register that. So yes, our solution includes every videos and text, so how to educate the staff to do things correctly. Because it's not just like put some concrete degrees and take it out within 10 minutes. You just need to check if the temperature is high enough, and so it's just one sample. So yeah, we help this one as well, and we see it's really, really big problem. How to put your employees to do the right correction, like actions.
Right, because just cleanliness and the food is just one part of what goes on. Because yeah, he was speaking to me, he runs a number of kitchens in Atlanta. And first of all, yes, the high turnover of staff in that industry is just amazing. And like we would drive down the street and he would just like some massive American highway and he would be like, just look everywhere. It's like now hiring, now hiring, now hiring. And it's this turnover in this type of industry is just huge.
I need to know the friend's name.
Okay, yeah, I'll hook you up. I think, and I was going to say, he needs to know it because we were speaking and I was like, well, bro, how are you educating your employees? How are you telling them what to do? And he's like, I don't know, tell them there's a big, I'm like, do you have standard procedures for doing things? And of course, you know, he's following the guidelines of the law, but I was like, yeah, what about when this happens, when that happens, you know, beyond that? And he's like, oh, no, not really. And we had a whole bunch of discussions about, well, we could make standard procedures, but then it's a printed document. No one wants to look at a printed document and go through that and flick through the manual, and we couldn't come up with a good solution for him. So this sounds where food docs might also fit into an operation like that.
Yep, perfect place.
So are you, now to comply, let's say with, if you're an Estonian-based company, you need to comply with Estonian laws and Estonian food health laws. And so I imagine you need to tailor your solution slightly for each market and each country. Is that correct? Or not, based off the individual laws in each country? Is that something you need to do? Or
we crossed this barrier a year ago because it was like the biggest problem for us as a startup. And we solved it, like we built the solution as machine learning. So it means that we take the customer's information and we, like, for example, if you come from United States, from concrete region, and we know that these are your food safety rules, then we take this information into the program, and if the next customer with the same profile comes, then we already use this information that we already have. So we use our own customers to get this information because they can change, they can customize their own food safety standards, and we feed the same information to the next ones. So we crossed this limit, and we had it was really a great problem.
I bet with so many, I mean, different jurisdictions between countries, counties, states.
And authorities, because, for example, which I just take one city, for example, Tallinn, there are different authorities, and they also, let's say, they say different things in different regions because they think so differently, and that's why we also we needed to rebuild the product so they can change regarding to the region. So
and you needed to build these self-learning AI mechanisms into the product, so otherwise it was just going to get too fragile and too flimsy to cater for every jurisdiction, every organization, every state, every country, and so forth. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, it is. And already today I see that we have customers from all 5 different continents, and they are using it, and it's totally suitable. So it's really great to see that it's actually working.
So does that mean, I mean, maybe if you were the first customer in a particular market, in a particular jurisdiction, maybe there's a bit more legwork to enter all of the policies and regulations for that particular market? Is that, how is it for that first one?
Usually we just check it manually. We do it okay, let's see what comes out, and then we give it to the customer, and then we see does he change anything or not. But yeah, it's quite logic because we just if you take one sample that increase, for example, the climate is warmer, and so they need to do some concrete food safety actions more often. For example, they need to do pests analysis for more often than in Estonia because in here it's so cold. So this information just grows the program smarter and smarter.
Okay, with each customer that comes on,
Yep.
it helps you grow to the next one. That's a very smart way to do it. But I imagine that must have been, at least for a time, you were faced with this massive problem going, oh, our system isn't going to scale, and you had to undergo, I imagine, quite a bit of re-engineering, but it's worth the pain.
Yeah, every investor was asking it, and we're like, again and again, we need to solve this one. And when we did, it just sounds so logic. So of course it is. We just need to take the customer's information and use this one.
Nice.
It was amazing feeling.
Yeah. Okay. How long did that take? What was that process of sort of re-engineering from going, okay, now we begin on this, to saying now the technology is there for us to do that? How long did that take you to turn it around?
It took when we came idea, it was like a year ago, and we rebuilt it like half a year ago. Okay. But we also got the grant from Enterprise Estonia for that, so it was supported by different sides. So yeah.
Yeah. So how was it? We've got a couple of minutes left here. Let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about the startup ecosystem in Estonia and how connected everybody is. And that means that you have ready access to investors, but more like the knowledge of the community. And if you want an answer to a question, you can usually pretty easily, A, identify who that person is, and B, it's not that hard to reach out of them. What were some of your experiences leveraging off the community?
It's amazing. I have several good samples. For example, you just write to your investor or whoever friend you know that knows lots of people, and you say, does anybody know this one? And you just get the number, and then you just call to this person, and you get all the information. So it's really, really amazing, because one connection, just after one call, he sent me all German hotel these contacts. So I was like, oh my God, do you want to get some money or something? No, I just sent it to you. When I need some help, then you can help me. So this is how it works, and it is amazing, actually. Whatever you need, whoever you need, just ask loudly.
Ask loudly.
Just ask, yeah.
Yeah, it is a good community here. It's a good place to come up. I feel it as well. You sort of know who to talk to. It's not that hard to follow along.
Who has had the same problem as you have right now?
Yeah.
There's always somebody.
Right, and we've talked today that permutates kind of all levels of Estonian society. Even the politicians are not these high exalted people sitting on a hill or something like that. We kind of expect to have access to them. We expect to be able to talk to them and all levels. It's kind of hard, isn't it? It's kind of hard to imagine an Estonian rock star, superstar that lives in the mansion and that doesn't, get access to anyone. There's no Michael Jackson of Estonia or something like that living
possible.
in Neverland. It's not. We don't have that kind of community here. Yeah, if anything, I had the opposite problem in my company because I manage stand-up comedians. And Estonian people, and we wanted to be professional organization, professional artist management organization. And for so many years, people were like, I want to talk to the artist. We're like, oh, sure, no problems. We're the agent. We'll talk to you. And no. I want to talk to the guy. And we're like, well, no, that's not how artist management works. You could talk to us and then we'll talk to him. And it took a while to get through because Estonians are so used to that direct contact. Why can't I just talk to that person right now? We're like, no, it's not. This is not how this professional. We need one layer of separation here, okay? We need some layers. We've got just a couple of minutes to go now, but we talked a little bit already. But what sort of customers and contacts are you looking for now? I mean, particularly as we're looking towards the American markets. What are you looking for in the American market?
Definitely, we are looking for investors because we already have the first customers there. And the second thing is, I told that we are targeting small and medium-sized companies, but on the same time, we just closed a pilot with the world's biggest food corporate. So we will go step by step. I totally understand that we are in the beginning of our journey, but I already see that really large food corporates are really, really interested in our product because it's this is like really effective and system that helps you to save tons of time and money. So this is also what we are definitely looking for.
Okay, so you sort of see, if I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, that if you go after the big fish and go after the big companies and work with those, that's where your big gains might come. And then possibly the smaller to medium restaurants, they're more like they will come along with time and come along with, as you grow momentum, they will come more naturally. Is that it, or how do you see the relationship between big and small?
These SMEs give us the scalability. It means that we don't need to chase them. They come by themselves.
Yeah.
It means we have more than 10 signups every day without any marketing budget. But on the same time, we need to be ready for already the next steps, because these big fish takes years to come. So as I have seen, so yeah.
It takes a while to fry a big fish.
Of course.
I don't know if that's an Estonian saying, but it is now. Let's go with it. All right, Katrin, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. All right. We are coming to the end of the second day of our virtual trade mission here from the Republic of Estonia. Today, we have been focusing on food and food tech. We've heard from 2 Estonian-based food manufacturers. We've just heard from food docs who are helping to automate the process of food safety compliance and making very big inroads into the American market. And now we're going to hear from another food producer in a slightly different manner. We're hearing from Põhjala Brewery, craft beer, founded in 2011. It was about the same time that we started stand-up comedy, about 10 years ago, that the craft beer revolution came to Estonia. First, we imported a few foreign beers, but then very quickly, some excellent breweries popped up in Estonia, and I would humbly say that Estonia is a great place to drink a craft beer these days. So today we're hearing from the CEO and co-founder of Põhjala, Estonian craft brewery, doing a wide variety of dark and barrel-aged beers, many of them listed in Rate Beer Top 100. In 2018, opened a new brewery and tap room in Tallinn. They are currently exporting to 30 countries around the world, and exports account for 70% of their market. Please, let's welcome to the stage CEO and co-founder Enn Parel. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Enn, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Põhjala, which is the largest and probably the best-known craft brewery in the Baltic region. So, we are called Põhjala, which is a bit of a tongue bender for non-Estonians, so to say. But name actually means northern or Nordic territory. It has roots in the Estonian and Finnish mythology, which are shared to a quite a big extent. So that's Põhjala is kind of a land up north where it's very cold, very dark, and very mystical. So our beers are a lot, draw a lot of inspiration from the nature around us, but we aim to take our own twist on some of the best-known beer styles and barrel age them, add nice or foraged ingredients. And our aim is very simple. We aim to make Estonian beer world famous. Like Louis said in the beginning, we are quite an international company in the sense that we do export a lot. So we can say we are bigger outside of Estonia than inside, because 70% of our production goes to export markets. We have over 30 of them, close to 40, but let's say some of them are very small and aren't ordering on a regular basis. But we are available in most of the European countries, and our biggest export markets are Finland, France, China, Netherlands, and the UK. And we are also present already in the States, so we are distributed in the States by Shelton Brothers, who are located in Belchertown, Massachusetts. So we have some foothold over there. The way we produce beers has won us quite a bit of recognition. So we have been listed for the past 3 years as one of the 100 best breweries in the world by ratebeer.com users. We have won multiple Best Beers in Style category awards. We even have an award for the best new beer, one of the 50 best new beers of 2018 for our barrel-aged Baltic Porter called Sajand. And we've been the best Estonian brewery on Rate Beer ever since we started. The other big beer aficionado app or website, Untapped, has also listed us as best Estonian brewery every year since founding. We do have lots of check-ins, so we are, in that sense, global. So the global craft beer community knows us pretty well, and we have a pretty high average rating also on Untapped. When we started out in 2011, we started out pretty carefully. The thing that most of the people told us was, don't start out too small, but people learn from their mistakes, and we started out too small. So we founded our first brewery in. We completed our first brewery in 2014 after having contract brewed for a year, and it was located about 10 kilometers from the city center in a green suburb called Nõmme. But in just 4 years of production over there, we grew out of the premises and decided to go a lot bigger, and so we opened a new brewery just a few hundred meters from where we are standing right now. So I walked here from the brewery, and it's the Noblessner area of Tallinn. It's one of the hippest or best known or most fashionable districts of Tallinn at the moment. And there we have a 50 hectoliter Rolac brew house, which is German, and filling line. We're adding canning in addition to the bottles next year. So this process is already started, and we also have fairly good lab services. We are very, very strict about our quality control, so as we export so much, we need to make sure that when the beer gets to China, it's in good condition. And we also have a tap room on site with 120 seats and 24 taps, which might not sound a lot stateside, but here it's basically the largest tap selection of craft beer anywhere in Estonia. The new facility was constructed in a former building of the shipyard that Noblessner used to be. They used to make submarines here, not the nuclear type, but the kind of first generation of submarines back in around 1910. We are situated next to the very trendy Kalamaja district, which is where everybody wants to live these days. The Seaplane Harbour, which is probably Tallinn's most popular museum, is just a stone's throw away. So we are kind of in a very nice place geographically. In addition to the production brewery on site, we have a tap room, a shop, and even a sauna for hire, because we are in Estonia, so everybody goes to the sauna, and it's been very popular. and it's booked out most nights. In addition to beer, we like to serve some very good food. And when we were thinking about the food concept for the tap room, we researched a lot of different options, but we found that Texas-style barbecue is the best kind of food to have with your beer. So we went on a field trip to Texas and did some serious barbecue research for a week. I didn't want to eat meat for 2 weeks after that. And that's the center of our cuisine, curated by Chef Michael Homan, who is actually Canadian. So we do a lot of barbecue stuff, sides, sandwiches, snacks, salads, and we make everything on the spot. The craft beer community is a pretty tight-knit community, so most of the people around the world know each other and get together at various beer festivals around the world. We have been traveling a lot, unfortunately not this year, but when the situation gets better, we will start doing it again. And so we've made friends all over the world. And what do breweries do together when they become friends? They make beer together. So we have collaborated with several breweries around the world, and a lot of them are also American. So we have Boneyard from Bend, Oregon. We have Bagby from Oceanside, California. We have Other Half and Stillwater from New York City. Jester King from Austin, Texas, Cigar City from Tampa, Florida. So we have made beers together both at our place and their places, and these are very good mates. We stock a core range of 10 beers that are available all the time. They are our best-selling brands, and while we are probably best known for our dark beers, high ABV stuff, and this kind of extreme brewing, then actually our best-selling beers are IPAs and some sours and a Pilsner. But we do brew a lot of special beers around the year, so they tend to be seasonal, using seasonal ingredients, so to name a few, we brewed Imperial Goses with different ingredients, cocktail-inspired ales, and many other specialties. So we aim to release one special release every month, as this keeps our customers interested in our beers and kind of facilitates the sale of the core range beers too, because there's always something new and interesting available, which tends to be the case in the craft beer crowd, that everybody wants something new all the time. One of our most celebrated ranges of beer is the Forest series. There has been a lot of talk about forests, I think, from previous companies, because forest is an important part of the life here. So we have a range of beer that uses forest ingredients that are foraged locally and used in beers. So we take some special arrangements in the brew kit to do that, but we have incorporated this capability into our production and are able to brew with a very wide array of ingredients. We are probably best known for our Cellar series beers. So we were the first ones in Estonia who started barrel aging our beers. It isn't a new concept worldwide, of course, but we were the first to do it around these parts of the world. And we take usually very high ABV beers that are thick, viscous, have this velvety texture, and we stick them into barrels that have been holding other beverages before. And when they emerge after 6 to 24 months from these barrels, they are something else. Some people say it doesn't taste like beer. It's more like dessert wine or Jerez or sherry or something like that. So it really takes beer to a new level. And to keep the beer in good condition so that it can be aged in your beer cellar for anywhere between 5 to 10 years, we wax the caps so that air doesn't get into the bottle. So oxygen is the worst enemy of beer, and it also looks nice. A few words about the team who is running Põhjala at the moment. So here's a picture of our head brewer, Chris, who is Scottish. So he was born in Aberdeen, Scotland, but grew up in Doha, Qatar, because his father is an oil engineer, and he used to work with a well-known Scottish craft brewery called Brewdog, where we met him back in 2012, and let's say kind of poached him. It was a friendly poach, but it was a poach nonetheless. So Chris is a full-blown Estonian now, having lived here for close to 8 years, and he's a partner in the company, and he's the man behind the beer. So we are kind of saying that Põhjala rests on or is kind of supported by 3 people: an artist, a salesman, and an accountant, me being the latter one, the most boring one. So Chris is our beer artist. Another guy behind Põhjala is my business partner and our head of sales, Peeter, who is, he's like what you might call a serial entrepreneur. So he used to be the distributor for Vans, Dickies, New Era, and all of these streetwear brands in the Baltic area. But when we got into beer together, he decided to end all of this and be a beer guy 100%. And finally me, so I won't dwell too long on myself. So I have a background in retail and marketing, but I have been a beer person all of my life, having started quite early. But beer has always been my drink of choice, and drinking beer and researching beer is how Põhjala came to life. So this is the end of the presentation. I have put contact of our distributor here at the end. Shelton Brothers import us to the States, and they have a network of distributors in different states. So if you are interested in any of our beers, please call Christian and or drop him a line. Thank you very much.
Nice, thanks, and take a seat there, mate. Let's have a talk.
Cheers.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
You too.
Yeah, I'm very pleased that Põhjala is doing so well after all this time. It's great to see you really go from strength to strength.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride, as we really started out very small, but now the company has grown a lot, and even this difficult year that we've seen now, it has taken definitely a toll on us, but we're still doing good.
That's all you can ask for this year, as long as you're still kicking, as long as you're still in the game. That's what's good. And I guess to give you all some background, 10 years ago, my friends and I started and introduced the culture of stand-up comedy to Estonia. And 10 years ago, people never heard of stand-up comedy. They were like, what? You're on a stage on your own? You don't wear a woman's dress? What's going on? And it was only a certain, maybe a more international person who had heard about this type of culture that was interested. And we very quickly worked out that the same person who was interested in seeing a stand-up comedy show then was also the same person who wanted to drink a craft beer 10 years ago. They're a little bit international, had some nicer tastes, and that, for us, I mean, we've built our business off the back of people coming to bars wanting to drink craft beer and Pohjola over the years. So and I think also the communities have been similar, that you've grown up now in this craft beer community that's been built. There's lovers of craft beer and industry, and we have the same thing with the stand-up comedy. So
yeah, it has been a little bit geeky in the beginning, as I would believe the case was in many other countries too. But now craft beer is really breaking out of this beer geek crowd, and more people are kind of asking or wanting to taste something a little bit more sophisticated than mass-produced lagers. So that's probably also the reason why Pohjola has grown so fast.
Because it took some time, and people to go like, oh, it's a lager, it's my, why do I need this? What is this fancy foreign thing, kind of, or whatever, foreign idea at least, that I guess people hold beer close to their heart. So it took a while to sort of change, I don't know, hearts and minds, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's a process definitely, but this started to happen stateside already back in the 70s, so it took a long time there too for craft beer to really break into the mainstream. But look at it now; it's like 15% of the U.S. market.
Okay, it's that much.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the ecosystem of craft beer, because we've talked a lot yesterday and today about the Estonian startup ecosystem, and the founders are there, and you have easy access to each other. But we've also got a very healthy craft beer ecosystem, and Pohjola was one of the early movers, and you've been able to take advantage of that. I mean, it's not enough just to be an early mover. You have to then have the goods behind it and be able to keep on keeping on, and you've certainly done all of those. You've played all your cards very well, but now there's a very mature landscape out there. Talk a little bit about the craft beer community and what's going on in Estonia.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I think the Estonian craft beer scene in general is very strong. So there's a lot of guys who make really good beer, and the coolest thing about this is that we are all friends. So we all know each other, we support each other, we share information between each other. So we are not kind of fierce competitors, but we all work together to bring the craft market forward. And so we are all competing against the big guys, not so much each other. So, for example, next week we are having the annual general meeting of the Estonian Small Brewers Association, which is basically everybody who is in craft beer in Estonia will be in one room, and we will make plans of how to develop this kind of still a little bit niche market, but still a market further.
Yeah, still a bit niche, but then again, I'm very happy that these days, I mean, I can get it in any supermarket here that I want to go into, and that's certainly a nice. I talked earlier about that now my life here in Estonia, there's nothing that I kind of really wish for, or as things have evolved over the last 15 years. And one of those very nice quality of life improvements is that I can walk into any supermarket on a Friday afternoon, pick up a couple of Pohjola beers and go home and enjoy them.
That's a good Friday night.
Yes. Let's quickly move on. We've got a few more minutes. Let's talk about the US.
Yes.
So one of my favorite questions to all the people that have been producing for the US market is flavor and culture and how they're affected. What do you see? Are there different tastes in the American market? How have you adapted for that market at all, if at all?
Yeah, we really haven't adapted that much to the US market, but the kind of the style category that is still driving the craft beer market is IPA, and this kind of American interpretation of the IPA, which is very floral, very, very aromatic, big flavors. And that's something that we don't export to the States, because there's nearly 6,000 breweries over there, and more than one of them can make a bloody good IPA, and there's just no point in bringing American hops to Europe making a beer with them and taking that beer back to the States.
Sure.
So our beers that are selling well in the States, especially, by the way, in North Carolina, which is our biggest selling state, are the dark and the barrel-aged beers. So we do it very well. Again, it's nothing very, there's no novelty that much about it, but somehow the crowd has really appreciated the way we treat our beers with barrels and the ingredients we put in there. So it's the Baltic porters, it's the barrel-aged imperial stouts, all of that dark kind of northern stuff, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're typically sending to America is your higher quality stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of the top of the range, so to say.
Right. And there's always a market for just high quality. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, people often don't want it fancy. They just want it done really well.
Yeah, there you go. It's a huge market, and there's like, even if you get the fraction of that market, it's still a lot for a brewery our size. So yeah, we've been doing pretty all right in the States.
Nice. So you said North Carolina. We know you talked about your distributor there. Is there some major, is it just bars, or is there any like outlets, like a bigger
I don't even
chain?
know the reason about it, but behind it, but our importer, Shelton Brothers, they tell us that North Carolina is our biggest market in the States.
I guess somewhere's got to be your biggest market, so
there you go.
That's what it is. Okay, so, and it's still basically though at bars, smaller craft beer shops that you haven't yet secured a larger distribution in America.
Exactly. It's mostly the independent bars and liquor stores, so these are the places where you would find the Põhjala.
Okay, I guess that is a balance for someone like you. Obviously, as a businessman, as the accountant, you want to be in all the places, you want to be selling all the bottles.
I don't know, in the States it would be too much, then we would have to build 2 new breweries here.
Okay. But yeah, there is something as well about this craft beer thing that you're riding a line between commercialism and still wanting to have a profitable business.
Yeah, I think that the key is just to not to make compromises, just to make the beer as good as you can and always focus on the flavor, not so much on designing a beer for a target group, so to say. This is what the big guys do. So.
A very good philosophy. All right, we're going to leave it there. And thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again, mate.
Nice to see you too.
Okay, that is the end of day 2 of our virtual trade mission to Estonia. We talked about food and food tech companies today. We heard from 2 food producers in Estonia. We heard from food docs who are helping to automate the processes around food safety compliance. And just then, we talked to Põhjala Brewery, one of the best, if not the best, craft brewery in Estonia. So we've got fantastic food, fantastic drinks coming out of Estonia. If you want to know more about any of the companies you've heard today, or what it's like to do business in Estonia, or how you facilitate any of this, please stay in the Imprompt Me page that you're in right now. You can get the contacts there. You can ask the questions. There's a possibility for video one-on-ones, or you can just type it into chat. That is your place to make contact. We have representatives from the companies that have spoken today. They are going to be available online to speak to you directly. Okay, so that's the end of day 2. We have day 3 of our virtual trade mission to Estonia tomorrow. We're going to see you back tomorrow morning, and we are going to be dealing with health tech and biotech tomorrow. Okay, my name is Louis Zezerin. See you tomorrow morning.